Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to look over some of the questions you guys have from the comments on the videos, and then I'm going to answer them here. So the first question is from Louise. She asks, does publishing more content in the beginning result in ranking faster? And Tom had the same question. So I believe so. I believe it makes a difference that you get some sort of momentum going in the beginning when you're just starting out on a new website. And that is in order to establish some topical relevance with Google, as we could call it. So let's say you only had 2 or 3 articles up in the first month. Google will not notice that you know what you're talking about from a few articles. You need more articles to show Google that you really know what you're talking about, also to show Google what the website is really about. So until you have like 5 or 10 articles, I'll say you will have a harder time ranking for those topics. But don't wait till you have like 10 articles lined up and then publish them all at the same time. Publish them as you go, unless you're really slow and you're only gonna write like 1 article per week. Keep some momentum going in the beginning. And I have a video up here that I want you to check out about how to get faster at this, how to do writing faster, how to do research faster, because this is a really, really important skill that you need to learn early on in order to get success with this. When you nail that, you will have a lot more success, and it takes time. Just be patient with yourself in the beginning. It takes time to learn to write good content quickly. The next question is from Japa. What about cache plugins? Do we need it? I'd say go check your site speed score in Google PageSpeed Insights. Check if you're ranking in the 30s, 50s or 60s, and then you probably need it if you haven't installed it. It's one of the first things you should turn on if your website is slow, because it typically makes a big difference. There's a free plugin you can use for this called W3 Cache, and that's what I'm recommending for most people. There's also a paid tool called WP Rocket, and that's really, really good as well. But for most people, the free one will do just fine. I'm personally using the cache feature that's built into a Zoic speed tool. That's working really great. It's just switching it on and it will take care of everything from image compression and caching and everything. So it does cost a bit. So you should also check out if your hosting provider already has some caching built into the system. Many times that would also work really great. VPX Hosting has a really good caching thing built into the system. I'm using that for my bigger sites, but for my smaller sites I'm using Bluehost up to around 80 or 100,000 page views per month. And also make sure that you're not using 2 different caching plugins, because you might be doing so without knowing it. If you turned on one of those free plugins and your hosting provider has it, and you may be also using it with Zoic, just check out what you're using already, because you should only use one. The next question here is from Philip Avent. He asks, how do you approach content length? I'm using a tool that gives me an average of the top 10. I'm not sure if it's the best solution or not though. And I know these tools. It's probably Surfer or Quora or Page Optimizer Pro that you're talking about. I've tried them and I must say I'm not a big fan. Also because it will make you focus on technical things and statistics, have this many keywords, have this many titles, have this many images and so on. And that's not, in my book, what is getting us to number 1 in Google. Another problem I have with these programs is that they will always help you produce average content, You will just be doing what everybody else is doing. And also if there's an outlier, with 50 pictures, they will tell you that you need this many pictures to rank on average, and then the data will be skewed. And it's really, really time consuming to dig into all these numbers. So what I do is that I check number 1, 2 and 3 in Google, and I see what's ranking there. And then most of the time I'll double the word count if I want to go for it. And I'll also make sure that I'm crafting a better, or at least a little different title. If you do that, if you double the word count, if you make a really good title, and you put your best content in the article at the top of the article, so people quickly see that you have some really good stuff, then I think you'll do just fine. The next question is from Devin, and he asks, how do you choose where to place ads? So I don't place the ads on the sites myself. The ad network will do that automatically. And also when they're setting up the sites to begin with, they will decide where to place those ads with some templates and stuff. But I can disable ads for a specific page or URL if I know it's doing really, really well with affiliate marketing, or if it's an info product page or another important page, maybe the about page is super important on your site. So then you can disable ads there with a few clicks, either inside WordPress or in the dashboard with the premium ad network. But for most of my sites, I don't disable the ads. I just let them show across all the content. Also because I found that having ads on the page doesn't really interfere with our earnings from affiliate or info products and so on. Ads is a natural thing with a website today, and people don't really pay too much attention to it really. But when we're talking about where to place those ads on the template of the page, I'm typically not using a lot of ads toward the top of the page. Also make sure that the ads are not interfering with the menu if you have a drop-down menu and so on. Just make sure that everything loads correctly on mobile and on desktop. One cool little side note here, with the SOIC they're typically using ads on 99% of the traffic. That leaves us with 1% as sort of a baseline. So it's 1% of the visitors, they will not see ads on your site. And that means that the SOIC will know what the bounce rate, the time on site and so on is for the visitors that don't see any ads at all. That also enables them to compare the data and see how much can we skew with the ads and how many ads can we put on before we are destroying the bounce rate and the time on site. It's really cool. I love that approach because you will have some real data and you will actually know how much it's impacting the bounce rate and the time on site, which of course is really important in order to rank well in Google. The next question is from Revista. Do AdThrive charge for speed improvements when you get accepted into the program? No, they do not. And the reason why she asked is because premium ads will always slow down your website. And with the SOIC, we have a speed tool that we can switch on. We pay a little bit for it, but it works really well. With the AdThrive, you don't have to pay for this. So if you ask AdThrive to speed up your site, what they will typically do is to enable deferred ads. It's basically lazy loading. So all the content on your site will load first. So it's not as fast as with the speed tool from a SOIC. I really like the speed tool from SOIC, and I'm using that for my sites, also the ones that are using AdThrive. So I'll have the ads from AdThrive and then I'll be using the speed tool from SOIC, and that works really well. The next question is from Natural Treat. If I decide to write the article which nobody write about, so where can I do the research for the article in order to publish the right information to the reader? And I get your question. You might be wondering if you can't find any information on it, how can you do the research? But reality is that there will always be somebody talking about anything and everything on forums and Quora and Reddit and maybe Yahoo Answers. There will typically be a lot of things to dig into. And if you cannot find anything, if people are not talking about the topic even on forums, on Quora or anywhere, you should leave it. Then it's not a good topic to write about because you'll have too little eyeballs and too little traffic. Another good tip here, if you want to write the article and if you're confident that people are actually searching this but you cannot find good stuff online about it, call some experts and get some quotes or hire some writers with experience so they know about this. They will have the experience in order to write the article from their own experience. That's always the best because otherwise we'll just be collecting data from everybody else and we'll just be doing what everybody else is doing. It's always best to draw on your own experience or hire writers with experience in the field that you're writing about. The next question is from Daniel, and he asks, do you have a community or an email list? Thanks, Daniel. No, I do not have a community yet. So this channel is still only a few months old, but I'm going to build one. When I'm launching my course, there'll definitely be a community part as well. So I have an email list, and if you want to get signed up for it, just visit my website. I'll leave the URL here. And let me know in the comments, what you guys want. Do you want a community? If any suggestions, any idea you have, I'll definitely consider them. Just let me know what you want. And this question is from Kevin. Imagine a website that has organic monthly traffic of 1,000 visitors. In order to boost my monthly visitors, I place a PPC ad. If I reach 10,000 visitors, do I get to apply for the SOIC? Alright, so with the SOIC you normally need 10,000 page views in a month in order to get into the network. So it has to be organic page views, you cannot just buy the traffic. But you guys are in luck. I recently talked with the SOIC guys and I asked them if I could offer you guys a better deal than the standard deal on the website because I wanted to do something great for you guys. And they said that I could get my students or my subscribers in from around 3,000 page views per month. So instead of 10,000 you could get in from 3,000 organic page views per month. If you want to do that, send me an email here and I'll send you my affiliate link. That also means you'll get to work with my key account managers. They're really great and I'm sure they'll do a great job with your sites as well. The next question is from Dustin. He asks, what approach would you take if the author of an article is someone else, like a pen name or another writer in your team? Who becomes the contact in your Hero application? So he's asking about Hero. It's helpareporter.com, and it's a great platform that I did a video about recently. You can reach out to journalists and bloggers and give them quotes that they can use in their articles, and then they'll typically leave a backlink for your site. You can totally use a pen name here. That's what I'm doing across most of my sites. You just use the same name consistently and you set it up with an email connected to your domain name. And this is also a practice that Google is okay with. So when you're thinking about it, many journalists have been doing this for ages. So let's say you're a journalist and you're reporting on war or politics and stuff like that. That can be pretty dangerous because there might be a lot of people out there who are disagreeing with you. So since that's a quite common thing in journalism, we very often see pen names everywhere across the internet. And Google just tells us to use the pen names consistently, and then it's no problem at all. It also works great with the whole EAT thing, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Something that we need when we're going to rank for controversial topics or topics within finance or health and stuff like that. So it also works well there. Google just tells us to use the same name consistently so they can understand this persona that's being built up and see that it's actually the same person behind it consistently. The next question is from Subhash. Can a news website rank and get traffic from Google if the website has been made through other websites' RSS feeds? No, sorry. You need original content in order to rank in Google. You cannot rank a website that's just bits and pieces from other people's websites and RSS feeds. And that also goes for ads. You cannot get in with a premium ad network if you don't have original content. That's really important. So think about that before you start messing around with that stuff. I hope you liked this video. If you have questions yourself, just leave them in the comments, and the comment in any video really. I go over all the comments, and so far I can still keep up with any comment on my channel. So just put your questions there and I'll get to it in the next Q&A video. And subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you guys next time.